Hello everybody, it's Larry and welcome to today's video. This one's a little different than some of the others. There's not going to be a whole lot in this one because, well, the features aren't that, feature rich. Trying to say that without a tongue twister. But what we're going to do is we're going to just mention a couple of things and you can see them right now. One of them is the numbers on the different areas. It tells you, like right here, this is the media icon, and it tells me there's 48. And I've got this little slider bar. I'll slide that down. But there's 48 documents associated with my father. And then we've got the one, source here, and we got facts. And I can look at each person and tell, how many things do I have for that person. Now, some of them, there's just a few and they all show up. If you have the slider down, if you have the slider big, you click on some of these and you might not know quite as easy how many there are. So that's kind of a nice feature. At a glance, you can kind of see it. I find these kind of helpful just to know which ones I might need to look at a little more. Or, if there's only a few, I know I don't have censuses in there for them. The other thing is over here. And in the past videos, we've been doing just kind of one thing per day, but that'd be a real short video if I ended right now. So we're going to look at these. And in the tree itself, you get the blue box, and that's over at FamilySearch.org. And if it has the leaf, then that's available at Ancestry.com. And so you can click on that and you get the hints, okay? And it pulls you up the hint page exactly as if you had on the site. So that's kind of handy. You got the hints rolled in right there. And then if I looked at the FamilySearch.org, you get the same thing from Family Search. It pulls it up. So that's a nice little integration. But you can look over here, because sometimes when you're working, you don't see, like, John W. Brown may not show up there, but he might show up over here in this list. And so you see the different, people, the different Browns. You can say, okay, Family Search has some, and this one's black. I don't know why that one's black. Maybe there's something special to that one. We need to check it out. But that one has a black square around it. I'll have to investigate that one. That must be a new Family Search thing. But if it has a blue box, it means they have a hint on Family Search. If it has the green leaf, means there's a hint available for me for that person over on Ancestry. Now, to be honest, I'm probably not going to look at this that much, and especially because they're not clickable right here. So if I'm clicking, I don't get that. You have to come over here and then you can click on that. So I hover over it, one Family Search hint found. Over here, 15 ancestries. Over here, oh, that's what that black is. It says it matches to a person, or I've actually matched it to a person. And that's one of the things that Family Tree Maker 2019 does. It lets you match these people specifically to the people over in FamilySearch.org, and that way you can actually build the tree. See right here, this couple was matched. Now, I didn't go ahead and confirm the matches on the others, but the tree on there isn't your tree. It's kind of a shared tree, so I haven't spent a lot of time adding my information or merging that up. But that's what the black dot is. It means that they're actually linked. So you got the square plus the blacked out part. But because you can't click on these, I'm not really going to use them that much. And the last thing we're going to talk about, since we're kind of closing out the week, is the color coding. So right up here, there's the color coding. And what I have, you can see the check mark right there. We're going to actually clear that. So we're going to clear all the colors. And that's going to take all the colors off of my tree. So there's my tree. It's all gone, not color coded. So I'm going to come back to me, say the color coding, and I'm going to say, okay, I want these 4 colors. And it's going to give me those colors for everybody on my tree. So there's blue and then green. And so for my grandmother, her line's green. And here, the line's blue, line's red, line's yellow. If you use Family Tree Maker, I would recommend that you use these same colors over in Ancestry to mark the line. So if I'm doing a Perryman line, maybe in red, Collins in yellow, McFarland in green, and brown. And that way, when you're going back and forth, that, you know, there's a recognizable color difference, and that'll help prompt you. Now, the other thing that I noticed is, remember we had the video on the emojis, because we had the different color hearts, and then, you know, we had a different shape. This one's a completely different type of icon. Remember, it was a book. Well, the hearts all look the same. So it didn't pass along the colors. It just passed along the emoji itself, and then it, I guess it turns it into a flat black and white is when it brings it over. But it did bring over the emojis. So if you use the emojis, you know, that can be brought over probably before the name as well as after the name. I would maybe think about using different icons rather than just different colors if you're going to use Family Tree Maker. Now, if you're just using Ancestry, of course, the colors are fine. But, you know, that's one way to do that. But the color coding I find is real handy, because now when I'm going through and looking, I say, okay, this person right here, Sarah and Neil, see, I knew that they were going to be on that line through my grandmother on my mom's side because they're in yellow. These Perrymans are in red, McFarland's in green. Let's kind of go up here and pick some random people. All right. Susanna, boy howdy. I'm not going to say that out loud because all of you who speak French are just going to roast me. So just roast me now for the fact that I can't say that one without it sounding bad. Let's go back to this one, Ferguson. That's pretty easy. So you can see how the color coding kind of gives you, you know, where they are in your tree just by looking over here. You know, there's the browns, and it becomes easily recognizable what they are. I find that to be really handy. And then on my wife's, if I go and do the same thing with her, I might want to use a different color coding. I use this one for me, so let's use this one for her. And now you'll see more of these people come in because her tree didn't get the family, the DNA surprise, so her family is better documented. You can see now that they'll show up in this list. So there you've got the pink showing up there, and that's on the Kennedy line, the Kennedy Drake line. And you can see some of her colors, you know, coming into this list now. So there you have it. That's today's video, and we're kind of wrapping up the whole 2019 thing. It's been kind of fun, the one-a-day thing. I hope you enjoyed the series, and if you did, give it a thumbs up. And just like in the last one, if you didn't make comments on the last video about what you'd like to see, put them in the comments below and tell me what exactly do you want to see in your videos. And you know, do you want more about this subject, that subject? I know a lot of people really want to find, you know, more information about how to locate their family, and especially those of us who've had a DNA surprise, that becomes the most important thing. And I want to keep helping those people. For those, I would say, you know, the clustering through the triangulation and the hints and the numbers. If you don't understand Centimorgan, see that one first. I think those do a pretty good job of helping out. You know, it may just take a little practice to, you know, get your arms around that. But what do you want to see? Let me know what you'd like to see going forward, and we'll see what we can do. I think the mini-series thing was kind of fun. So if there are some topics, maybe instead of doing, you know, 10, 20, 30-minute videos, we'll do, you know, some little, you know, daily fives or something like that, or maybe Tip Tuesdays, or, you know, whatever you think you'd like to see. Just let me know in the comments below, and we'll select some of them out there if they look good, and work on those. Thank you all for listening. It's been my pleasure, and you guys have a great weekend.